Boom, 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 boom. Got yourself a 4-star. Sooners land a massive pickup on the recruiting trail. Defensive lineman Brian Harris commits to the Sooners. And it looks like Oklahoma is now getting some momentum in the recruiting trail as they now have 3 defensive players who have committed in the last 2 weeks. This is huge. Let's break it down. Y'all know how we do it. Look at Brian's measurables, watch a little tape, talk about what this means for the Sooners going forward. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank y'all for pulling up to the channel. I appreciate all the love and support. It's been a crazy week, so I haven't really dropped much content, but this commitment is huge. And so we've got to jump in, look at Brian's measurables, and talk about what he means and what he reminds me of now that he is committed. So here's the stats. Here's the numbers. 6'4", 290 is what he has himself listed, as well as a recruiting site. So it looks like we're pretty accurate. He is a 4-star on Rivals, 3-star everywhere else, and composite, roughly top 500 player in the country. He is a top 50 defensive lineman in high school ball as well. And so one thing that jumped out to me the most, and me and John talked about this over on Locked On Sooners when we looked at the predictions that we're diving in, because a lot of predictions were coming in for him. Brian was originally committed to Maryland, and he decommitted. And the thing you look at him is the way that he moves. He reminds me a lot of Jaden Jackson. 6'4", 290. He's going to be well over 300 pounds by the time he gets to actually playing as a true freshman. And yeah, the man is disruptive. Great lateral movement. Does a good job. He plays some edge now at Mandarin. He's going to line up at defensive line. And if he still has that shiftiness as he does at edge at the high school level when he gets to college, he's going to be a massive threat when it comes to trying to contain him here in the SEC, right? And so, yeah, 3-star, of course, you all are going to say, Jay, 3-star, why are we so excited about that? You got to go look at the offers. This dude has spent a lot of time at Alabama. Penn State was all over him. Spent some time up there and did a few visits at Penn State. Mississippi State. He's got, the list is long. South Carolina, Michigan, Ole Miss, of course, Maryland is where he was committed before. Auburn. So a lot of the teams that are known for having big, solid interior dudes was high on him. He's out of Mandarin, Florida, Jacksonville area, Mandarin High School. So he can ball. But man, he is disruptive. He gets in, he makes a move, and next thing you know, he's right there at the quarterback or at the running back. And so shifty enough to grab. Dude's tough. I love what I see out of him. And one thing I looked up about him, I was trying to figure out why he's been jumping so much. And the offer list has been going up, and I think he'll probably get more offers. Don't get it twisted. This isn't it for him. He went to the Under Armour next event, and similar to what we saw out of a Trent Wilson, who also got himself MVP honors, Brian Harris got himself MVP honors while he was at the Under Armour next. He was the defensive line MVP. That tells you everything you need to know. He was one of the best high schoolers when he went, and nasty work. He's one that's going to jump out and continue to, he's going to continue to get offers, but he killed it. So I'm stoked that we land him. Let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. Want to hear your thoughts. When you see the size of the dude, like the pictures I showed earlier, propped him back up, he's a big boy. And like I said, I expect him well over 300 pounds when he gets to campus. They'll probably throw him on a good exercise plan. And by the time he comes as an early enrollee, which I expect, he'll probably be a monster. So him and Trent Wilson basically growing up together, it's going to be so much fun. And Oklahoma also got themselves another crystal ball for a Matthew Nelson out of Bryant, Arkansas. Teammates for the most recent pickup of Ja'Cory Smith, which I think is pretty significant. Oklahoma's spending a lot of time in Arkansas. Seems like Jim Nagy likes those boys. He's 6'5", 205, so he's a tower. He's just not as big, but he's got the frame to be able to add that weight. He's going to be a threat there, especially playing at the edge there at the high school level. This defensive line is going to be filled out real nice, and it looks like Oklahoma's going to be really after a good crop of D linemen, and Jim Nagy and them are building it. So, but one thing that also jumped out to me here for Brian is Brian's doing his visit on June 6th. I haven't talked about this myself. Me and John talked about it over on Locked On Sooners. Go check out that episode from earlier this week. But I'll put a video together on it. But Bo Bentley changed his date to June 6th from June 13th, where he was the only guy, to June 6th, which is a very full weekend. I'll have that list compiled, and we'll probably talk about that next weekend. Actually, this coming weekend on the live, we'll dive into all the players that's going to be pulling up, because it's a long list of them. But Brian's going to be there as well, so he'll be committed. A lot of the other commits will be in town. You're going to see some heavy peer-on-peer recruiting going on that weekend. And so, look, I expect Oklahoma to possibly see some commitments over that weekend, because why not? There's a good chance that a lot of players are going to make their decision and say they're in over that weekend. And Oklahoma's going to have all of the big guns in town to help with pushing players to come across the board. So, hey, all I know is this is a huge pickup. Oklahoma needs some momentum, and I think you're going to start seeing that from some of the other players as well that we're really targeting, because I know Nagy has some really big name players that they're going after. They're taking their time. Most of this is going to happen probably between June 6th and June 20th at like Champ U barbecue weekend or whatnot. You'll probably see that. The party at the Palace is going to, of course, be huge at the beginning of August, so keep that also in mind. But let me know what y'all think. Hop in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. How you feel about this Brian Harris pickup? What do you think Oklahoma's going to do going forward? I want to hear from y'all. All right, we'll have some more content coming out. I got a whole bunch of stuff coming this weekend. ESPN dropped his SP Plus update, as well as returning production. I'm building my charts. I'm going to have that put together, so we'll have that to talk about this weekend. We'll also dive into the offensive line, and I'm going to explain to you why that Heisman video I put out about John Mateer, why I think there's a possibility, because of the one place that's most important, offensive line, is bringing back way more production than y'all expected. So we'll jump into that and everything. So keep your eyes open for that video, most likely either later today or tomorrow. So hit the bell notification and the like and subscribe. That way you don't miss anything else coming down the line. And yeah, me and Coop should be going live on Sunday. So we'll talk soon.